Welcome to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm Jay Andrews. This is the Mississippi Madman. We're going to fan a few flames. And
been flaming my fan. Fanning my flame. Where the hell is it supposed to be?
Today's going to be the long-awaited payback for Mr. Madman here, as he was correct in his prediction of Kenny Omega defeating Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title. So, ta-da! He finally gets to hit me with cake.
Well, I told you, if I didn't win this one, that was it.
And I did, in true fashion. We were the loser's supposed to bring their own cake. And since I lost, I picked up a mini cupcake. Mr. Madman said that would not be allowed, so he went down to the local Kroger and got a different cake.
Damn, Skippy.
So you will not be able to see me get hit with a mini cupcake, but instead...
You're going to get hit with both. I'll hook you up.
A chocolate cake. So, yeah, hey Lee, I had to call you back. But business call, had to call that back. But yeah, I definitely got to put on something to help me stay clean, because I do have to go back to work. So I can't go back to work with chocolate in my ears and in my hair and all that stuff like the Madman likes to do. He likes to get hit in the face with cake and then go to Walmart.
No,
so,
so you got something black in your ear. I'm like,
it's cake.
And then I had to tell the story.
So yeah, we'll get to do that. Throw a shout out to our guys over at Hard Knocks. Fan the Flames. They got their own fans to fan their flames. So check that out. Buy that at the merch table when you go there. So yeah, so did you get to watch the Dominion?
No, I have not watched it yet.
You have not watched?
At the house. I haven't had time, honestly.
I got you. I watched a few highlights.
That's all I've seen. I saw a highlight on YouTube. That's all I've seen.
I think it was definitely a night for Canadians, as all three, Michael Elgin, Chris Jericho, and Kenny Omega, walked away with titles. Yeah. So congrats to all three of those guys. Big night. So hope this isn't spoiling it for anybody. But oh well. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So
licking whipped cream off somebody's butt.
Well, you know, making art.
No, making nasty.
Yeah. So I know WWE came to Jackson.
Yes, they did.
Here, last Saturday or this
Friday?
Friday night. You have a rundown of what people in Jackson got to see from WWE.
Yeah.
So we'll give that. It was at the Jackson Coliseum, and we got a ticket. So he didn't sneak in. He actually bought a ticket.
Paid $15 ticket.
$15 ticket. So what you got?
Bobby Roode, Mojo Rawley.
All right, give us your thoughts on each match.
I did. I got it written down what I thought of each match. It was a slow pace, old school match. Bobby Roode won. Okay. Good match though.
You got to meet Mojo, right?
Yeah, after in the show. I'll tell you that after the end of this. Kalisto versus Cedric for the Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric's the champ. Fast paced, lots of near falls. Probably the best match of the show, to be quite honest. Yeah. Very good match. A lot of high flying.
Well, you got two guys that came straight off the Indies.
Yeah.
You know, so it's no surprise that you get to see that was the best match of the show.
That's why I was telling Fury, is like how close he was to getting, trained around this area.
Yep.
And after the match, they're like hugging. I'm like, congratulations, you're a great person, whatever. And then Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre come out and beat the crap out of him.
I dig that.
I thought it was going to turn from that to a tag, but then unfortunately, Cruz and Titus O'Neil come out for the save. So unfortunately, I just watched Titus O'Neil wrestle in person, and I got what I expected.
Titus Worldwide. Let's still do the ooh.
Well, Cruz took all the heat, and then Titus come in for like a 3-hit.
Titus is a huge individual, though. He's a big dude.
But they still lost.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they're pushing Drew and
Dolph. And honestly, this was probably one of the quietest matches.
Really?
Yeah. Because Titus was outside trying to be a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Probably should
nobody
be a 6'10" cheerleader.
Yeah. No one bought it, huh?
No, nobody bought it. It was just quiet. Then you had Chad Gable versus Corbin. Corbin wins. So basically two bad guys in a row. Yeah. It's only bad guys that are not that we're probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
So, average match. They worked a knee.
Yeah.
This ain't, to me, if you're working on knee, it's not a lot you can go from.
Right.
It's really hard.
I mean, it's punches and kicks.
Yeah, it really is after that. The guy that got the most heat of the night was Elias. Bro, he come out, he had the crowd singing along with him. He said, when I say hey, you say hey. When I say hi, you say hi. And he's going. And all of a sudden he said, Mississippi's full of white trash. And when he did, boo!
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
The crowd blew up. But I mean, he had them, you know.
Yeah, he walking with Elias.
Yeah, they walked with him and he took him down the dirt road and covered in dog crap and got him. But then Seth Rollins come out and made an IC title belt match. Good match, probably. Honestly, it was either this match or the Kalisto and Cedric match. It was probably one of the best matches of the nights. Seth goes over with the stomp.
Well, again, Seth Rollins, a guy from the Independents. Yeah. So just another, reason to go watch independent wrestling.
And then this match I liked, and it wasn't exactly a great match, but it was Bo Dallas versus Bray Wyatt. And I was just telling Fury about, I was like, this is literally brother versus brother. Yeah. Of course, they're not advertising it that way. Right. Nobody even knows they're related.
Right.
But I just thought it was cool to see brother versus brother. And it was short. It was probably about 7-8 minutes long. And Bray went over with his little flatliner.
And that was your main event?
No.
Oh, no.
Let's see here. Then, unfortunately, I had to sit through this. Bailey, Sasha, Amber Moon, Natalya Neidhart versus the Riot Squad and Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Boring as hell, drug on like hell. The wrong person took the heat, which was Natalya. She's not over. The fans didn't give a damn. You could have cut her head off and the fans would not have cared. Honest to God, like it was so quiet during this part. Sorry, did I go shooting this a little bit there?
Yeah, just a little.
I unloaded a little bit on that match, didn't I? But anyway, it was horrible. I thought they were going to go in, hit a couple of high spots, and be over. Nope, they worked her leg. Every time. So,
hang on. Choo-choo!
Every time.
If the Godfather was here, he'd be like, it's time for everybody to jump aboard.
The Mississippi Hoe Train. Good God. But the coolest part was the end, because I'd always wanted to see her do the finishing in person. Was Amber Moon hit the a little flipping stunner she does.
The moon over Manhattan.
Yeah, that was awesome to see that in person. Like, but it was just,
yeah.
10 minutes went by and it felt like 20.
Wow.
An hour and 20 probably. But anyway, they won with that stunner. Then it was a 6-man tag, which is kind of funny because it was originally supposed to be in Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns for the finish as the main event.
That's what was advertised?
That was what advertised. But hard subject to change when only 60% of the Coliseum might have been sold. Because I figured they got there and they're like, yeah, must be a new gas station opening in town. We're going to do a 6-man.
They probably heard Ego was talking about running an event.
Yeah.
It scared them.
You got Jinder Mahal, Owens, and Zayn versus Roman, Balor, and Braun Strowman. And it was a good match. More or less, we're going to hit everything that we do, and then we're going to win the match, and Roman's going to win, and Zayn's going to take the pin, because I called it as soon as I saw them all walk out the door. I said, I bet you $5 Zayn takes the pin. Fury goes,
no.
Yeah, probably.
No.
Well, I mean, honestly, it was a good match.
Yeah.
And Braun took one bump.
Well, that's all it should do.
Oh, yeah. As big as he is, dude, I never thought the dude was as... how some people look big on TV and then you see him in person, you're kind of like, well, you're not that big.
Yeah, Jazz.
No, you're even fucking bigger.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy crap.
I remember the first time that we saw Jazz, I walked by and I was like, hey, how you doing? And didn't realize it was her.
Yeah.
And I go, well, wait, you're Jazz. Like, holy smokes, you're huge on TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely, man. So overall, what would you give if you're giving it a star rating?
I don't do that. I just say I enjoyed it for $15. It was worth $15.
I got you.
I didn't think I wasted my money, and Fury said the same thing. It was worth $15.
Yeah.
Would I have paid $50? No way.
Would you have paid like $300?
Hell no.
I got you.
why would I pay $300?
Well, I mean, that's what the floor seats normally go for, right?
They're like $100. Yeah, they're high now, and I
Yeah.
bought 4 before. They've gone ridiculous on their prices.
Yeah, it's not
I know
for
it's
me, man.
like it was 150, 35, and 15
I got you.
prices, and I paid what I thought the show was worth, $15. And probably I would pay that for an indie show, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. So
I mean, that's essentially what a house show is. I mean, you're not going to get the, you know, the 5-star matches. You're going to get house show matches. So
the one that, like I said, the 2 that really sold and kept going, I mean, really didn't. They're like, this is not a house match show. We're gonna give it our all. Callisto and Cedric, and then Seth and Elias. Like they stole the show to me.
all right, you said you were going to tell us something about Mojo. What were you going to tell us?
As we were standing around, we went down and was talking to one of the refs, and we were just kind of curious about the kind of wood they moved. I wanted to see the wood they used, and it was Chad Patton, I think, is one of their refs.
Okay.
I think that's the right guy. If it's wrong, I'm sorry. But we got to talking, and Fury had asked me a few questions, and I'm like, man, I'm not sure. And he said, well, I know sometimes they're agented. I said, well, hell, here's one of the refs. Let's ask him. So I called him over, and he came over and talked to us for a few minutes, and I asked him, and he said, no, he said, on house shows are more or less a place where they get to test the waters.
Yeah.
And he said, they might tell them the finish they want, and that's about it. He said, so basically it's kind of your testing ground.
Right.
And he said, no, we use the planks. He said, because our big guys break the sheets
plywood,
like we have. So we talked to him just a few more minutes, and we were walking away, and he goes, I think that's Mojo Rawley, and he was over there cutting a promo on his cell phone. I said, well, hell, I'm going to talk to him for a minute. Oh, man, don't do that. I said, well, I'm going to wait for him to get off the phone.
Yeah.
So I walked over, and he got off, and I said, you mind if I get a picture real quick and ask you a question or two? And he's still over yonder waiting. I'm like, will you bring your ass over here? So Fury finally comes over, and we just, you know, Fury wanted to asking him, he's like, you know, could you give any advice to guys that are still trying to get out there? And he said, yeah. He said, be different, stand out, don't do the same thing as everybody else, don't try to look the same as everybody else.
Right.
And he goes, that's the biggest problem nowadays. He goes, you know, like when you go to a show and everybody looks exactly the same.
Yep.
If everybody goes shop at Hot Topic, everybody look the same.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, I say that over and over. I'm like, you know, if everybody learns to sell like Ricky Morton, then Ricky Morton's no longer special. You know.
Exactly.
Like, you know, if everybody cuts promos like Jake the Snake, guess what? Jake's no longer special. You know.
But I mean, and I'll tell you something else. Moses is a big old boy.
Yeah.
You see the
he made
picture
you.
of him
He
next
made
to
you
me?
look like a midget.
That's what everybody was saying. They're like, you're a big guy, but compared to him, you're nothing. I'm like, no.
You were like 3'4".
Yeah. That's what I said. I look like I was representing the Lollipop Guild.
Lollipop kids.
Exactly, man. I mean, he's got to be 6'10".
Yeah, he's a big dude, man.
And
Like I didn't realize how big he was.
Yeah,
So
he was really cool, though, man. In all honesty, so
that's cool. Have you watched anything else? You watched any other kind of wrestling or got anything to touch on?
Actually, I watched some Japanese Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, tell us about that. I've always heard, hey, if you want to see Hogan wrestle, watch him in Japan. Is that true?
Yes, very much so. Because he did stuff in Japan he never did in America.
Right.
Like he did the. You remember? What's his name? Of course, I'm gonna forget it. Santino, not Santino.
Yeah, I remember Santino.
Not Santino. It's not Santino.
Bruno.
What's the damn Mexican? And they come out. He would come out and he had his own announcer.
Yeah, Alberto.
Yeah. Anyway, you remember the flipping armbar he did? Hogan used to do that.
Wow.
So that really threw me off.
Props to old Hogan.
Seeing Hogan throw an enziguri kick threw me off. And really seeing him versus Bob Backlund threw me off. Because they had to wrestle. And they didn't throw many punches. It was wrestling. So that was definitely a surprise.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely something different. I mean, you know, you've always heard that, hey, Hogan could go, but he didn't have to. I guess that proved it, huh?
Well, in the end of the match, didn't prove much because for some weird reason, Stan Hansen come out and just chased him out of the ring.
Well, you know, can't lose.
Well, nobody did, but it was so.
Well, hey, well, that's cool. What did I watch? I don't remember. I watched something. Oh, I watched some of the MOW, their latest episode.
Yeah, with a ton.
If you're not watching MOW, man, you're missing out. There's some really good stuff. You know, they're giving a lot of guys a lot of opportunities.
Tony Schiavone.
Well, yeah, but just indie guys, you know, guys that are wrestling. So I really dig it. They are, you know, I'm not gonna say they're national television, but I assume they are. They're just as much national as, you know, TNA is. So I mean, they're on a channel that not everybody has, but a lot of people does. So you know, check that out.
Where are they at?
Florida. I know that Lucha Underground's coming back with season 4, so I'm looking forward to seeing how, you know.
You know they're not in the temple, right?
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be a completely different thing. But a lot of their guys that they had before is not there. You know, you lost Ricochet and you know those guys. Or Puma, let me rephrase that, Prince Puma.
Same thing.
So I'm just curious of how the storylines are going to go. But the cool thing with Lucha Underground was they had a lot of different storylines, so they didn't depend on just one guy.
No.
So some episodes, you know, you may go 2 or 3 episodes without seeing Prince Puma. So I don't know how much it will affect him. But yeah, you know, just looking forward to that. So Pro Wrestling Ego, June 23rd, the Hideaway, Jackson, Mississippi. It got put out today. Joey Abel has challenged challenged the Pride champion O'Shea Edwards. You know, Joey, 9 months ago, Joey had to take time off. He relinquished the title. It took us that long to crown a new champion. We crowned O'Shea Edwards, and it's kind of funny. The first challenger in Ego will be the guy that just gave up the championship. Will be the guy that gave up the championship. So a little weird, a little unorthodox, but I'm pretty sure those guys are going to tear the place apart. You know, they've got history, but when they had that history, both guys were standing on a different side of the fence, so to speak. Joey Abel was not necessarily a fan favorite, and O'Shea Edwards was, and now it's kind of been flipped. So
I don't know. When he left, he was still getting booed.
He was, but I mean, he left teaming with Ray Fury, so we shall see.
Bald guy too.
Yeah, we shall see how that goes. But I guess on to the main event of this episode of Ego on Break is cake. Yeah. Oh, you had to get chocolate cake.
Of course, you don't like the Putin emoji, so I figured I'd hook you up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You hold that. I'm going to put this on.
The heat's cheap. I had a damn towel. You got a raincoat or something. Like Pee Wee Herman go in the movies. Damn, boy, they don't want you in this thing. Ooh, it's nice and melty too. Hope you got something to wipe off with. That's pretty good. You want to taste it?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to. Well, yeah, let me have a lick.
Get you a towel. I'm being serious. Okay, I'm making sure.
Ah, man.
Sorry.
Omega, you let me down. You should have lost.
No.
All right, have at it, homie. I'm gonna just close my eyes.
That's cheating. I didn't close my eyes. Only twice. It's got frosting at the bottom.
It's like I'm jumping in the pool.
Oh, fuck. Hard to rear back my left hand. Move your damn hand. No problem. Okay,
well, that's been this episode of Ego on Break. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know in the comments.
I know I felt 4 times, jackass.
Yeah, well, I guess it was a good idea to...
Good God.
I think I snorted chocolate.
Like you tried to lick some cream and mist.
You know what would be fun if I just took what cake's left over, just smashed it in your face. So like,
well, I'd do it to you.
So, hey guys, if you like this episode and you have a hankering for chocolate cake, let us know. So,
that's nasty.
Oh man, it's all in my eyeball and
I don't know
stuff.
how you think I felt.
This was your idea.
I know 4 times.
So, anybody got some milk?
A loser.
Hey, you got some milk?
A loser.
Have a hanker and eat cake. Later, guys. See you June 23rd at the Hideaway in Jackson, Mississippi.